Welcome back. We are in the gun room again today. We have got the Ruger 10/22 Talo edition heavy barrel out on the bench again today, but this time for a part 2 and / upgrade video. So if you remember back to when I first originally reviewed this rifle, it shot very well. I was pretty impressed with it. I absolutely love the BX style trigger in here. It does come with this really massive .920 heavy barrel. Did come with the Picatinny base. We had the, again, as I mentioned, the BX style trigger, which breaks very, very cleanly. Does come with the really cool braided sling from them as well. It's a pretty nice piece. But it does have this Hogue stock. Now, generally, the Hogue stock really isn't that bad. It's a rubbery style stock. However, there is quite a bit of flex, especially in the forend. And this one is actually touching the barrel along this left-hand side. So I wanted to put it in a better stock, and I wanted to get a better scope for it just to kind of see what else this thing might be capable of. So, I mean, it did shoot pretty well. I was pretty confident in its ability. I think it definitely has the accuracy and precision there, even being a factory put-together rifle. So let me show you what all we got. So I am going to run the Texas Precision Optics 5-27 FFP 30mm scope on this. It I think will serve very well in this role. But kind of the big question here is what kind of stock or chassis are we going to put it in? And I'm going to use one of the Luth MCA-22 chassis. I don't know if you guys have seen these or not, but these things are pretty dang sweet. And they're not that expensive, which is kind of the crazy part. The back end is completely modular, so you can completely adjust and tailor it specifically to your shooting style and how you fit and interface with the stock itself. It's got a nice, basically 90-degree pistol grip. Kind of take it out of the bag here so you guys can kind of see it a little bit better. It doesn't weigh a whole lot. Again, it is completely polymer. I know some guys will kind of frown on that, but it's not bad. But one of the coolest parts about this is it is made in the USA. So that's very much awesome in its own right. But you're able to adjust the comb height as well as the length of pull with these pieces here. These knobs are actually aluminum, which I was kind of surprised there. So should be nice and stable. Now to adjust these, one thing that I did notice, you have to take these out, completely out, to adjust your length of pull, because these are threaded. And then you just put these knurled screws back in like so and tighten them down. Again, you don't need to put the fear of God into them, but just make sure they're good and snug. And then your cheek riser, same thing there, get it nice and adjusted for you. You can even give it a little bit of a cant if you need to, depending on your shooting style. Snug those down and you're ready to go. And an easy bolt-in application. It does come with a screw. You can take this piece out here depending on the weight of the barrel. So we have a .920, so this piece will have to come out to give room for the .920 heavy barrel. The stock does have the ability to take M-LOK accessories, so we could put a M-LOK bipod or something like that on there too, so that's pretty nice. Does have a QD cup in the back. Doesn't come with any means of attaching the sling, but I wouldn't think that a sling would be overly too complicated to interface with this design. But here's an idea of the directions. So let's see here. And again, you can kind of see here, so if you're using it for a bull barrel, you're going to want to pop that center plastic piece out of the stock. If you're using just a standard like sporter contour, you can leave that in and it kind of takes up that additional unused space in there. So that's pretty nice. And then M-LOK slots must use 1/2-inch length fastener, so just kind of remember that if you're wanting to put M-LOK stuff on the side of there. But overall, seems pretty self-explanatory. It's not overly complicated. Like I mentioned, I do like the pistol grip on this. I think that's going to bode very, very well to shooting this rifle. So again, with us being on YouTube, I'm not going to be able to install this on camera. However, if you want to cruise on over to the Rumble, I will post an install video of this so you can see it actually going on to the barreled action, and you can see what all it entails there. But otherwise, if you're just watching on YouTube, I will see you guys back at the hide. All right, so we made it back here to the hide in some pretty unfavorable conditions. It is ridiculously cold out today. My hands are freezing, my face is about froze off, but we've got our Talo Edition 1022 heavy barrel mounted up in our Luth AR MCA-22 poly chassis. Thanks to you guys for coming over to Rumble and checking out that install video if you're interested on that. But I've got 4 of the 5 rounds that I shot in the original video. I don't have any more of the SK semi-auto rifle, but we'll see what these 4 do and kind of compare them to our original target once we get done here. But we're going to start off with the CCI standard and see how they do. Okay. And that should be 5 of those. All right, not terrible, not terrible. But let me foul up the barrel with some of this Ely target, and we'll try 5 of those on paper and see how. All right, so we got our barrel fouled with 10 rounds of the 40 grain Ely target. So let's try 5 of these on paper and see how they do. Oh, must have failed to, oh, had a misfeed there. That's the first malfunction out of this rifle. That was a good string going too. Ah, of course. All right, man, I knew that that next shot was going to fall, but I'm going to use that as my mulligan. I'm not going to blame that one on the rifle. All right, so I've got the Norma Match 22 here next, so we'll foul up with 10 shots of this and see how this does. All right, so we've got our barrel fouled with our Norma Match here, so we'll try 5 of these on paper and see how they do. All right, well, it definitely liked that, that's for sure. Really nice group, really nice. Okay, so I'm going to let the barrel get fouled up here with some of this Blue Box Federal. I know you guys like seeing the bulk stuff tested alongside the match ammo or some of the better ammunition. So we'll foul up with 10 shots of this. This is just a 40 grain round nose, nothing fancy. Pretty sure this is just Champion, but we'll foul up with some of this and see how they do. All right, so our final 5 shots of this Blue Box Bulk Federal 40 grain round nose. We'll try these and see what happens. Are you serious, Blue Box Federal? Oh, of course, we got to have that one. All right. There we go. Man, I was getting a little excited there for a second. All right, I'm going to run down. I'm going to grab our target. We will compare that to our original target we shot prior to putting the Luth MCA-22 poly chassis on, and we'll get some final thoughts. Okay, so here was our original target. That was the group with the CCI standard. And now this was shot with the factory, well, I'm not going to say factory, but it come with, from the factory, a Hogue rubber stock. So this is kind of comparing the differences between those two. Now, there's nothing wrong with that Hogue stock. As far as like hunting and taking it out in the field, that stock's actually pretty nice. I really like the extra grip that it gives. But there is some flex on the bench and for target shooting, so kind of take that with what it is. But this was SK semi-auto rifle. Now, this was the load that I didn't have any more of for this test, so we ended up not being able to shoot that. But here is our first group with the Norma match. Here is the Ely target. Shot that pretty well. And then about what you would expect with Federal Blue Box. So with that said, let's take a look at what we just accomplished with it in the Luth AR stock or polymer chassis. So here is the CCI standard. So I'd say fairly comparable. It did seem to be a little bit more consistent, but overall probably about the same size, maybe a little smaller. And then the next one was the Ely target. So that was the one that we had the failure to eject on. So that was the new group we just shot, and here was the original. Kind of see if I can put them kind of side by side so you can kind of compare. I'm trying to do this with basically one hand here. So I'm going to call that my mulligan. That round should have easily been in that hole or that cluster up there. So I would say it probably tightened that up maybe a little bit. And then, very surprising, basically one very small hole in our new target as compared to what we did originally with that load was significantly different, guys. Look at that. 5 shots basically in one hole compared to about a 1-inch spread. And then finally, Blue Box Federal coming out of nowhere. Yeah, so we had 4 shots there and then 1 all the way down here. And then compared to the spread that you would expect to see from, you know, just a regular bulk ammunition, you know, nothing out of the ordinary. So with that said, is this stock, you know, a good upgrade for your Target 1022? Guys, I tell you, kind of the proof is in the pudding there. It definitely made it a more consistent shooter, I would say, in my opinion. Just going off that CCI standard, that's what I've shot most out of this rifle, and it does seem to have brought that into more of a consistent sized group. However, I have not shot any of this Norma match with the exception of that first target until this update review. So I'm going to call that a win. I definitely like it, but definitely interested to hear what you guys think on this upgrade. And then to kind of go over and get some final thoughts on the stock and the way that it fit, I absolutely love that. I will interject my personal opinion in that. I love the interface. Oh, bump the camera. I love the interface of my hand to the grip. It feels very, very good. I mean, it is right on the money. And the interface with the comb and the length of pull adjuster is also very nice. And one other thing I wanted to bring up is that if you are a lefty, I am pretty sure, move the camera here a little bit so you guys can see this as well, but you can actually take the, I guess the adjustment screws, if you want to call it that, from this side and place them on this side. And then the same with the adjustment for the comb height. So this could be something very, very usable for a left-handed shooter as well if you're looking to upgrade your 1022 also. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I really, really like it so far. If you guys would like to see anything else on this rifle, definitely let me know. One other quick thing to note, I did end up settling on 21 inch-pounds for the action screw. It brought basically the most consistency that I've seen with that CCI standard velocity, so that's kind of what I've went with, and it seems to be faring pretty well. But yeah, like I said, if you want to see anything else on this rifle, post up below. Definitely let me know, and we can get it back out for you guys. But please like, share, and subscribe. It really does help the channel. As always, shoot straight. Later.